Hello YouTube and welcome to the build. So again, part 1 was showing you all the parts that are going to go into this build. Now we'll try to get this all done in camera and put it all together for you guys so you guys can see. I don't know how long it's going to take me because this is going to be my second build. So we're putting in the Ryzen 3950X on this particular build. Alright, there's a little triangle over here on the side, right here. So just match that triangle with the triangle on the motherboard. Okay, and just gently drop it in, wiggle it a little bit, and close the retention clip. Okay. Match the notch on the RAM with the notch on the motherboard. Open these clips just to make it easier on yourself. I guess you have to open all of them in this one. Set it down, and once you hear a clicking noise, that means that you got it run. You gotta do the same thing for the next stick. That's in. That's in. Let's go. Okay. Let's put this on. So right now we install the CPU and the 64 gigs of RAM. This is a Corsair Vengeance RGB PRO. 64 gigs of RAM, 3200 megahertz. All right. Let's go with the next. Okay, so the next step I want to do is to install our NVMe SSD 2 terabyte hard drive. For that you need a screwdriver to get rid of this cover plate. And the screw. Okay. Underneath this, there's going to be a heat shield. Once you install it, you can peel that off. So I'm going to do that. But you're going to need to install the standoff screws for your NVMe. And this is, it just goes, just put it in like so. With your fingers, you don't have to tighten it too much. Put your NVMe SSD on the motherboard. Once it clicks, you're good to go. Now you're gonna need this little baby screw, little tiny screw, to hold it in place. Hope the focus. There you go. See this little tiny thing? That's what you need. Okay, let's put it in. Once you screw it in, just tightly a little bit. Remove the heat shield sticker, which is this little guy. Just peel it off. Done. And put this back on. There, just like so. Once it's on, screw this back on. There you go. That's done. And also, if you want, you also have 3 additional ones. So 1, 2, right, and other tiny screws. So you have 3 options to install 3 NVMe SSDs in here. Now what I like to do is just gonna install all of them, just so I don't have to have the screw laying around and you potentially lose it. Just in case down the road you do like to upgrade, you already have the mountings on your motherboard. Just gonna put it in. Now, just so I won't lose the tiny screw as well, I would put this on the motherboard itself too. Just so you can, it's like as a placeholder so you don't lose them. You don't have to remove the heat shield because obviously you're not going to use it, and just put this back on. Nice and tidy. Do the other one. Okay, take that off. Open these little bags. Put this down. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the first time I built my first computer, I was a nervous wreck. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do it. And I made a mistake. I don't know if I did or not, but once I put it all together and it was actually done, it didn't power on. Now, I realized that it was actually the power supply that was bad. So I have to take it back to Micro Center and try to replacement one. It's a scary thought though. There you go, done. So now that this component is actually installed, I'm going to move into the radiator, which is built by Corsair. I'm going to put some fans in it, populated fans, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to populate the Corsair radiator with some RGB fans. So they've given us 24 of these screws, right? So we are going to use every single one of them to populate this with, you know. So they're gonna go like that. One, oh no, flip it, flip it, flip it, buddy. Two, right? No, this one's two. And three. So that's what it's going to look like. Bam! Beautiful. All right. So I'm gonna get to screwing, right? Because that's what we need to do. One. I love this kit I got from my center. It's made by Fix-It, right? And it comes with everything that you need. And look at this. Really nice. It's not good, so you don't have to worry about losing the cover or anything like that, so yeah, it's awesome. Let's keep this one. No worries. I'll get stuff right here. Yes, sir. On the fan. Install. Now, I'm going to show you guys the case of where this is all going. But I chose the NVMe XL case. I kind of like that case. Not very particular, it's really cool. That's the reason I like that case. So we populated about 10 fans in this computer. You don't have to like, you know, really kind of over there. Right now, so it'll be really inside case for the fan speed. Right, now that the fans are actually populated onto the radiator, I don't really need to do this right now because I'm not ready to install it into the case. But it's only wiring. Right, so they are going to go connected to the Commander Pro from Corsair. I have two of these due to the fact that I have 9 fans that will be populated in here. So yeah, So that's what we got. Anyways, and the standoff. Right, that's perfect. All right, so now you can just screw in the screws. One is done. So there's 9 of these, right? And you're supposed to do it in a X shape pattern type of deal. My native screwdriver will be perfect right now, but unfortunately I don't have one at the moment. So. Let's add one more screw after this one. There we go. Just this last one. There we go. So now that that's done, we are going to install the CPU cooler. And I want it mounted here. So that's where it's gonna go. All these wires I'm gonna possibly just throw them down here. You know, just for keepsakes. So that's where it's gonna go. But I want to put fans on the other side because I'm doing push and pull configuration on this. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'll show you guys in a bit. One more fan to install. So for now, the back of the case is done. I don't need to do anything back here anymore. So for the pump, look at all these wires. I'll do some wire later. I'm going to apply my own thermal paste due to the fact that this one got a little ding on it. But that's fine, I was expecting to remove it anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing for that. I'm going to set this aside for now. I'm going to be routing all these cables to the back now due to the fact that I don't really need them in the front. And this is just for now, because I'm ready to do some cable managing. But as of now, all I want to do is get everything plugged in, the power supply, and get all the wires installed and stuff like that. So I just managing on and show you the final look this look like once it's complete. So that's okay as it is. But we still got some work to do when it comes to installing the CPU cooler, the AIO, sorry, and wiring. Alright, I'm going to be installing the power supply. That was it. So I have to install it before I start this project. Okay. So, but we still got some work to do when it comes to installing the CPU cooler, the AIO, sorry, and wiring. Alright, I'm going to be installing the power supply in a little bit. Just going to put some stuff away before I actually start with another project. It's installing the water pump. Now you can use whatever thermal paste you want. I got this from Corsair. Again, just pretty much whatever you really want to put on it, I guess. You don't necessarily have to get the same one. So yeah. A little tiny pea. Okay. Water pump. Once it's in, you tighten it and do the other side too. Just make sure that both ends are nice and tight. Okay, so that should be more than plenty. You can either play with the cables later on, or entirely up to you. So this little thing, we're gonna reroute these cables to the back. So at this point we plugged in the water pump. We put the USB to the motherboard as well, and all the other cables have been routed to the back. Now not everything is plugged in at the moment because we still have some wiring to do, and I gotta plug in the USB connections and the front panels as well. So I'm going to be doing that right now. And you leave it be. You can mess with it later if you want. The other connections are for the front connectors. So this one goes like so. Okay. We have one more. And this one goes in there, like so. Goes this to the back. The audio, obviously this is going to go on the same way that we put those in. So push it through. Audio is going to be on this end. There we go. That's out of the way. The front connectors for the power on and reset switches and stuff like that. This is something cool that Gigabyte includes in the bag. It's this little tiny device. I don't know if it's gonna be able to focus, but I'm gonna put it right here. This little tiny device, right? So what this allows you to do is to plug in all these wires, right, into that little device. So it makes it a lot easier to plug everything at once versus plugging things individually. So power, right, it's gonna go to power, which is right here. And the other one, the plus sign goes there. Okay, so those are in. Once you have plugged them all in, this little device gets plugged into here. Just like so. Okay, so that's that. Right, so whenever I have them, no wiring required after that. That's gonna be one at the top. It's gonna be number 2. that's going to be pretty much all the drives that we'll be installing later on down the road, and as of now I don't really need them, so just gonna leave them there so they can be out of the way. Alright, now all we have to do is connect the power supply and wire the motherboard. So that's the only thing that's left as of now from this build. Put these wires up here. The fact that I'm using this many fans in this computer is just going to be insane. Alright, so now that we have all of our wires plugged in, now we are going to install the power supply. Now, the fan, since it's going to be on this side, that's how the power supply is going to go. Oops, put this thing in here, just nice and easy. Alright, set it down. Okay. Now we gotta get the screws that came with your power supply case. Three, four. Yep. Oh, I don't know what that was. One in, and there's 4 of these, so okay, power supply is in. Now, all we have to do now is connect the motherboard cable, which is right here, to the 24-pin motherboard connection. Just plug it in. Yep, that's it. And the CPU, which is this one, labeled CPU. Just plug it in. So that's done. So for now, we're going to leave this wire on the side. We're going to stand the case. Sorry, one angle you won't be able to see it really well, but I'm about to turn on the other camera. So now that we wired pretty much everything, power supply, CPU, motherboard, the 24 pin. I'm going to install the graphics card. So you pull this little lever down and remove this orange stuff out of here. Again, this is a triple card, so carefully and click it. Once it clicks, it's in. I think we need to install one more of the shields on the top, so it's not completely empty, and you know, it's a big empty hole there. I don't want to leave it empty. All right. Now we are going to plug in the connectors. So that's what the graphics card looks like installed. I just gotta attach the wires, the screws, so it holds in place. So that's in, nice and tidy. One more screw. Again, having a magnetic screwdriver would definitely help out, but unfortunately I don't have one, so I do what I got. So now that the CPU and the GPU is plugged in, so I'm gonna move the case of the PC on the side for now, just so you can see what I'm doing with the fans. Maybe these little guys right here. Alright, so we're gonna install some fans in there. This is going to be pulling air from the bottom to the top as it intakes. Hardware out of here. For now. So these are the screws that you will need to use to mount these things in here. Now we are doing, you just got to follow the directions. So this is going to be pulling air, right? So from the bottom up. So we're going to install them like this. Yeah, like so. So we need to screw them from the bottom. So you here, see right here, that's how they're going to be mounted. Okay, all three of them. So let's do that right now. So in a minute, I'm completely cleaning it up right now. Just want to get it all lined up. So this one, that one. That's what it's going to look like. So just like this. So once you push this down, actually it'll line it up with those. And just pay attention to this right here. There's this tiny screw down here. That's you want to plug it into the base, yeah? Just screw it back on. So that's after that. So that's after that. More things for your master's just to the back of it. So all I have to do is just one. But let me route his wires to the back so they won't be like on the front of the case. So what I have to do is just route them down here. There's one. Three more fans to be installed. These are going to go on the top as exhaust, and then I would include one on the back as an exhaust as well. So we're going to get these out of here. Okay. I use the same RGB fans, I want to keep them all the same, so I'll keep that one for this case. So these will be as an exhaust, so these will be going out here from the inside of the case and exhausting it out. So that was the goal for this, so it would be 4 exhausts and 6 intakes. Alright, so let's get the screws here. Let's put that aside for now. Again, this is how they will be mounted on the base. So. I'll lay down the case matching this one. Bunch of wires. Now the fans up here. Now these fans actually just a cable edge. So this is going to be a little bit. That's the only thing, but other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. So we'll just hold one more fan just for exhaust to the back. So you're looking okay. So this will be the last fan. So in total, it's 14 fans almost. One last fan. So this is W+. USB fan one, okay, so that's what it's saying. That's it. Okay. So this is going to be a system fan. I'm just going to plug it into USB fan 1 there. So that's where this is going to go. The RGB is going to toss it. So we are continuing wiring the Commander Pro RGB fan controller and RGB controller as well from Corsair. But this is looking a lot better than it did before. So again, you know, this is still a work in progress. Once everything is nice and plugged in, I will tighten them back up to make them neater so it doesn't look like this. There you go. Once you have everything in place, just use the little screws that came with the case. So this is right here. That's what it looks like once it's all cable managed. Again, not the greatest, but you know, it'll do the job. So we are finally ready. We're installing Windows. Now this is my old computer. Now again, it's not really old by all means, it's just upgrading, that's all. But this thing looks amazing. Now I haven't had a chance to play with the RGB and stuff like that, but I want you to look at this. Look at those fans. That looks sick. RGB. Now, most people won't show you the mess they make when they're building a computer. Well, guess what? I am. Again, I don't really care. I'll pick this stuff up as soon as I'm done reconfiguring the computer and stuff, so. But yeah. This beast breeze life. Now it's almost done installing Windows. So we are at the Windows screen to set it up. Let's hope this works. Keyboard, United States, of course, yes. Yeah, skip for now. So this is something that Microsoft wants you to do. Now, you could just decline all these services. You don't technically need any of this. The less information you send over to Microsoft, the better it is for you. I like to keep my stuff private, so. Hello. So after downloading all the drivers and making sure that everything is still running as smoothly as possible, the build is complete, right? So now the last thing I need to do is just remove the plastic cover. One and the tempered glass. So there it is. That's the final look of the build. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, any suggestions, let me know. Thanks for watching.